Oh, TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. The app of dance challenges, creepy old teachers talking to underage kids, and teenagers becoming millionaires seemingly overnight for no real reason. Freaking lucky. Oh, and the comedy! Can't forget about the number of people on there trying their best to be funny. And, sometimes they do it. Sometimes they're, they're trying. TikTok gets a lot of hate on the internet. Sure, most of the time it's from people who've never even touched the app, but it's kind of understandable, to be honest. It might have only been around for a couple of years. I know, 2017 feels like a decade ago. But I promise you, it wasn't. But man, what a ride these past few years have been. It's not like there isn't a reason for all that criticism either. That app has been met with controversy after controversy after controversy after, well, you get the point. If you need a quick reminder of some of them, well, here's three. Ava Louise making up that Jeffree Star and Kanye West rumor, the Stokes twins facing felony charges for their bank robbery pranks, and all those influencers throwing parties in the middle of the pandemic that got so bad, even Ariana Grande started shading them for it. Seriously, guys? You couldn't just stay at home and play video games until 2 a.m. like the rest of us? I guess the point here is that every social media platform gets hate at some point because every social media platform has its fair share of weirdos. We're just gonna call them weirdos. MySpace is responsible for launching Jeffree Star's career, which really says it all, to be honest. Tumblr has the infamous Bone Stealer, among others. And if you don't know about that story, I suggest you go look it up because it's insane. But make sure you do all that after you watch this video. Hit the subscription button and the notification bell so you can get caught up to speed on all the weirdness while you're waiting for the next one. Trust me, it's gonna be worth it. Quick side note though, stop saying Tumblr is dead, you guys. Sometimes I can still hear the sound of its voice. No, I'm just kidding. But it is thriving right now. It's doing quite well. It's great. Anyway, back to the subject of today's video. I think we might have just found a strong contender for the weirdest person on TikTok. And now I know what you're thinking. Everyone on TikTok is weird and cringy. That's what the app is known for. Whether or not you think that's true is up to your own interpretation. I'm certainly not here to tell you that you're wrong, but some of what's come out of it has been kind of fun. Looking at you, Wellerman Craze. But the girl that we're about to talk about, I honestly think she's one of the weirdest people I've ever heard about. And I've been on 4chan. Those are some dark days. Now, I know that I normally give you guys some sort of breakdown on who the person we're talking about is, stuff like their background, their career path, and something noticeable that they've done outside of whatever scandal we're talking about, just to give you some context on who these people are. But that is pretty much impossible with this girl. The only thing anyone really knows about her is that she goes by the handle of groovy.baby on TikTok, and that she started making content in February of 2019. She has over 200,000 subscribers though, so clearly she's doing something right. I just can't figure out what that something is, because let's be real here for a second. Some, if not all of her content is really, really weird. But hey, maybe that is the reason she has so many followers. We love watching things that go against the norm, don't we, folks? But it's not like her content has always been that way. A lot of her earlier videos are pretty odd, sure, but it's more in the way that you'd expect a TikTok to be weird. You know the kind of thing I'm talking about here. There's a whole lot of lip syncing along the sound bites really badly. There's also a lot of standing in a dark room staring directly into the camera as the light changes color behind you, and suggestive music plays in the background. Bow chicka bow. Standard stuff. It might be a little off-putting, maybe, but it's not like I can judge her too harshly for it, not when so many other people have made similar content. What I can judge her for, however, are some of her more controversial videos, shall we say. Some of what I'm talking about here is super disgusting, so if you're eating anything right now, I strongly suggest that you put it down for the next hour. You're not going to want to eat after this. I promise. Here we go. Before I get into these videos, I do just want to say, please don't go and attack this girl because of this. Yes, some of the stuff she's admitted to doing is really gross and definitely should not be something you feel comfortable admitting to the entire internet. But she's not actually hurting anyone else with what she's doing, which is a huge step up from some of the other people I've talked about on this channel. Except, the eyes and ears of the people who have watched these videos. I know I'm scared. Oh, and her therapist. Definitely her therapist. As one commenter says, her poor therapist got a therapist of their own. Other than that, no harm was caused to any living creature. Sadly, sadly, I can't say the same thing for dead ones. Let's get into it. I think the best way for me to start this is by getting the mildest of these videos out of the way first, and then building up to the worst of them. Because while these first couple of TikToks are definitely weird, they're not overly gross or anything. They're not going to make you want to throw up your lunch at least. They're mostly just kind of off. Like they're the kind of thing that the quirky kid in your class would say or do and make everyone else feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? For any of you out there who already know about this girl and the stuff she said, first of all, hi, welcome, come in, take a seat. Thank you for joining us today. Second of all, I know these are going to be pretty mild for you, but I promise we'll get into the good stuff. Can any of this be considered good? I'm not so sure. Okay, so the first couple of videos I'm going to talk about are just her doing POV TikToks. You know, the kind of talking about. They're all over the internet. The camera and the audience, or the POV and the person recording the video acts out a situation. She's done a couple of these, and they're all just as strange as each other. Which one do you want to talk about first? Take your pick. We've got the one where she pretends you're a mouse trapped in her car, or how about the one where she pretends to eat your feet? Like I said, they're off-putting, sure, but they're not disgusting. Neither of these videos include any kind of bodily fluid, at least, which cannot be said for all of them. Oh yeah, you heard that right. We're about to get into some really gross stuff. Now, the next two videos I want to mention are in this strange kind of gray area. Imagine for a second that all these TikToks are on a pyramid, okay? At the bottom of the pyramid, we have the two videos I just told you about. At the top, we have the videos I haven't talked about yet. And in the middle of this period are the two that I'm about to talk about. So, the first of these videos involves cat excrement. It makes me feel nasty just saying it. But basically, it's just her talking about sharing a glass of water with her cat and how excited, I guess is the best way to describe it, she is about sharing all of those germs. Just look for yourself. The second video on this tier of gross pyramid doesn't involve cat poop, thank God. But that doesn't make it any less disturbing. This girl talks about violence a lot. There are a lot of general threats about hurting other people's kneecaps, which I know sounds bad, but honestly isn't that big of a deal. It's just something that people on the internet say when they're frustrated about something. What's not so normal though is saying that you want to rip out someone's intestines and turn them into a human sausage, which I don't know where to start with that one. Okay, so we've made it to the top of the weirdness pyramid. Congratulations. Or commiserations are probably more accurate here. But before I really get into the next load of videos, I do want to warn you guys about the subject matter. This girl is obsessed with her own butt. And I'm not talking about the fun admiring yourself in the mirror because you feel good about the way you look either. Oh, no. That would be fine. No, the kind of obsession that I'm talking about here involves her putting things up her butt that really have no business going up there at all. Obviously, it's not the only nasty thing she talks about, but it is probably the most prominent and is something to keep in mind. With that said, I am only going to briefly mention one butt-related TikTok today because it is without a doubt the worst she's made. Remember how earlier I wished I could say that no dead animals were disrespected in the making of these videos? Well, that's because in one, she makes a joke about shoving a dead hamster up her butt and taking it out for the world's worst show and tell. At least I think it's a joke. I hope it's a joke. And just in case that wasn't bad enough for you, she's also admitted to eating her own bodily fluids. Yep, that happened. Which is another thing she seems to be obsessed with because she threatens to pee on people a lot more than the average person. I mean, I maybe do it once a year. She does it like once a half day. Now, there are theories out there that this is all just an act that she's been putting on to get attention on the internet. And that's definitely a possibility. You know, we see people, Logan Paul, do insane stuff for views all the time. It's really easy to fall into the mindset of the weirder your content is, the more views you're going to get. But I don't know. The detail that she goes into with some of the stuff is worryingly deep. Like, she's actually speaking from experience and not just making a general statement about something gross for attention. But what do you guys think? Is she just making this all up and putting on an act for views? Has she actually done most of the stuff she talks about? If she has, what do you think her next big thing will be that grosses us all out? Ugh, you know what? I actually don't know if I want to think about it. Just put it in the comments below. I don't know if I'm gonna read it though.